Imagine this for a second. One single vehicle that can be anything you need it to be. A bus 1 minute, a tanker truck the next, and then a heavy-duty crane right after that. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, what if I told you that fantasy is now a patented reality? Today, we're diving into an invention that completely redefines what a vehicle can be. It all started with a really simple, almost obvious question. A question that kind of challenges a whole century of how we've designed cars and trucks. And the answer to that question is what makes this whole thing so revolutionary. So here's the core problem. For over 100 years, we've just accepted this idea. One vehicle equals one job. It's so baked into how we think that we don't even stop to consider how unbelievably inefficient that really is. Let's just break it down. You need to move people around, you get a bus. Simple enough. Its whole design, every single part, from the seats to the windows, is built for one thing and one thing only: carrying passengers. It can't haul cargo, it can't lift anything, it's just a bus. Okay, now what if your business involves moving, say, fuel or milk? Well, for that, you need a totally different vehicle, a tanker truck. That's another huge piece of specialized equipment, custom built for just one specific task. And for a construction site, you're going to need a crane. So just like that, you're suddenly trying to manage 3 separate, very expensive vehicles for 3 different jobs. You can see how fast the costs and the headaches just multiply. And here's the real-world result of that. We are talking massive upfront costs for every single vehicle. Then you've got separate maintenance schedules for each one, different insurance policies, and an absolute logistical nightmare trying to manage the whole fleet. It's a system that basically forces companies to have these super expensive assets just sitting around doing nothing most of the time. So when you see the problem laid out so clearly, you have to ask, what's the solution? Well, it turns out the answer is just beautifully simple. The solution isn't some crazy, more complicated vehicle. No, it's a complete rethinking of what a vehicle even is. It's about breaking it down to its most basic essential part. And this is it, a single, bare chassis. This stripped-down frame right here is the universal key that unlocks every single problem we just talked about. One frame that can become literally anything. And listen, this isn't just some cool idea. It's an officially registered international patent. The inventor's goal is laid out perfectly clear right in the patent document. Use one chassis for all sorts of things to slash costs and make everything way more efficient to manage. That vision was there from day one. You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like Legos for vehicles. Seriously, instead of buying a dozen different pre-built models, you get one universal base. That's the chassis. And then you just snap on the different bricks, which are the vehicle bodies, whenever you need them. It's pretty much a real-life transformer. So how does this automotive Lego set actually snap together? It's one thing to say it works, but let's get into the weeds and check out the brilliant engineering that makes this whole modular system tick. Okay, the first piece of the puzzle is the support system. And these are not just simple connection points. They are fully adjustable supports that can move in 3 dimensions. We're talking up, down, forward, back, left, and right. What that means is no matter what shape or weight the body is, the chassis can perfectly adapt to it and create a rock-solid base. And you can see them here in detail, the main and the auxiliary supports. Just look at how they can pivot and extend and move. This incredible flexibility is what gives the chassis its universal power. It can securely hold anything from a simple flatbed to a super complex crane. But okay, how do you connect a multi-ton body to the chassis quickly and, more importantly, safely? The answer is this brilliantly simple 2-step locking process. Now, this first step is so clever. There's a cone-shaped guide on the chassis, and it slots right into a matching receiver on the vehicle body. As the body gets lowered, that cone shape just naturally guides it into the perfect position every single time. Gravity does all the hard work. It's basically foolproof. So once it's perfectly aligned, a bolt goes through the center and gets locked in place with a nut and a pin. And the design is genius, because the more weight or stress that's put on the vehicle, the tighter that connection actually becomes. You get the strength of a weld, but you can take it all apart in just a few minutes with simple tools. All right, we've seen the mechanics. We've seen how it all works. Now for the payoff. This is where we get to see how all that clever engineering comes together to create something, well, something pretty spectacular. First, you have the empty chassis. A crane lowers the passenger module down, those self-aligning guides do their thing, the locks click into place, and bam, in just a few moments you have a fully functional bus ready to go. But the day's not over yet. A few minutes later, that bus module is detached, and a tanker body is lowered right onto the same frame. Just like that, the same chassis is now a tanker truck, ready to move liquids. No need for a second vehicle sitting in a lot somewhere. And to finish off the day's work, the tanker gets swapped out for a heavy-duty crane. Think about that. That's one single platform doing the job of 3 highly specialized vehicles, all in one day. That is efficiency on a level we've just never seen before. So what does this all boil down to for a business? The advantages are just crystal clear. First, you've got incredible cost savings. You buy one chassis instead of 10 different trucks. Second, you get maximum use out of your asset. It's never just sitting idle because it can always become whatever you need it to be. And finally, management becomes so much simpler. All your maintenance is focused on one common platform, not an entire complicated fleet. But this idea is so much bigger than just trucks. This whole philosophy of being modular, it really points to a completely new way of thinking about engineering, about manufacturing, and maybe even our entire infrastructure. The inventor even mentions that this same concept could be applied to things like railway cars, and that really gets you thinking, doesn't it? If our vehicles can be assembled and reassembled like Legos, why stop there? Why not our homes or complex industrial equipment? This isn't just a patent for a new kind of vehicle. It's a peek into a future that's built on flexibility. The real question is, what comes next?